When I tell you guys that I have had no social life, no life, period, frankly, because I have been doing nothing but knitting on this, I'm not lying, like at all. Hello everyone, my name is Allie. Welcome back to my channel, Prairie Purl Knits. Today's video is yet another knitting podcast. This is episode number 10, which is crazy. I accidentally put number 10 in my last podcast. I said number 9, which was accurate, but in my intro clip, I put number 10 for some reason. Don't ask me, I don't know why that happened. I think I had a little bit of a slip in memory, oopsies, but today's video, I'm so excited because there is so much to discuss, like way too much to talk about. I've had 2 new cast-ons that I need to discuss, one of which has gotten a disturbing amount of progress, honestly, way too much. But I'm at the point now where I think I'm stalling because, you know what, we'll get there, but otherwise, yes. I finished my second sleeve on my louder. Did I do anything else? No. But I did cast on a scarf for winter, which we'll get to, and I have some progress on my socks as well. Obviously, I don't have any finished objects. I'm wearing a store-bought sweater because I have had the sweater for 2 years and I still wear it and love it, so I'm going to continue to wear it and love it for as long as I have it in my closet. So crucify me if you must for wearing a store-bought sweater on a hand knitting podcast. It is what it is. I have my acquisition that I promised that I was going to have this week in my last episode, but it nearly didn't happen. I ordered the yarn like right after I filmed that episode, and I didn't expect it to actually get here because it hadn't shipped until yesterday, but it literally arrived like 30 minutes ago. So I did already open it because I cannot resist opening bags of yarn. It's just a primal need for me. So I have it sitting right there and I'm so excited to discuss it at the end of this podcast. Yes. Oh, also, thank you guys for 100 subscribers. That was super fun to see. Also, Rebecca Clow reposted me to her Instagram like twice, and I think that's why I like gained like 12 followers on Instagram and gained some subscribers. I gained like 5 subscribers from that. So it's not like a crazy amount, but also the fact that anyone saw my stuff reposted on an Instagram story from a designer and went, "Ooh, this is cool. I'm gonna check her out," meant so much to me. So thank you guys if that's where you came from, and thank you guys generally for 100 subscribers. That is cool. I didn't expect really anyone to watch this whatsoever, so the fact that anyone has wanted to like watch my content enough to subscribe so they could see it again is very heartwarming to me, so thank you guys. I did have a little bit of knitting pain on Monday. It is currently Wednesday, and on Monday this recent Monday, 2 days ago, this entire side of my arm, like my entire right arm, was just numb and achy the entire day. And I have no idea really why. It just kind of came out of nowhere. I'm thinking it was related to my job because I was doing a lot of lifting and a lot of weight bearing on this specific side of my arm or the specific side of my body. So I think that's what it was, but I didn't really do much knitting Monday or yesterday, which was Tuesday, just to let it rest and relax because I don't want to aggravate it and get it to the point where I have a severe injury and I can't knit, period, because that would not be fun. So I'm going to go ahead and get into the video now, and I'm going to start with my works in progress. And the first one that I have to discuss is my Louder sweater by Rebecca Clow. Now, I don't know what to do about this because first off, on Monday I did like some Italian bind-offs, which might have also contributed to the pain. I didn't really do much knitting though, but I did finish my second sleeve, and I don't know how I feel about it. I did also block it, and I folded down the collar, sewed it down. I did an Italian bind off on one of the sleeves, this one, but it's not blocked out the way I want it to. Like, as you can see, like, it's not fully blocked. I don't know how to explain it. Like, if you can look at the body has like the purl ridges exposed, right? That is not happening on the sleeves. And I think I need to block it in a different method to get that to happen. Because when that would happen, if that happened, the sleeves would fit perfectly. They are a little bit snug right now, and it's like wearable, but it's not the most comfortable. And I think I need to get a different blocking method. So I'm considering getting blocking, like actual blocking mats, and some actual blocking pins, because right now I'm just using like a yoga mat and some sewing pins if I need to, but that's in like a desperate situation, which I did try with this, but it just, I don't think worked well enough. So I think what I'm gonna do is probably buy those eventually. We'll see. And try to block this again when it's finished. When the body's done, I'll go ahead and block the sleeves out to be properly blocked, because I think it needs it. Otherwise, I really love the sweater. I did also realize that I'm an idiot. And if you guys look at the sleeves, so I'm showing you guys where I did my decreases, I think. That like middle column, like right here, that cable doesn't change, but these two on either side do. And as you can see, I went from like the typical 6-stitch cable to these 4 round cables, and I don't know what they are called. I see cables like this all the time, but I don't know what they're called. It's like that, like, it looks like a rope cable kind of, but like very extended out, very drawn out rope cable. And that's not supposed to be there. I accidentally forgot the last 4 decreases for some reason, which would have gotten completely rid of those 4 stitches before I did my cuff. And I would have literally just like been on my cuff when I finished those decreases, but apparently I wasn't thinking, so I forgot to do that. I didn't care enough to go back and fix it, so I just left it, and I'm frankly glad I did, because the sleeve would have been even snugger, and I don't feel like having to deal with that. I did do an Italian bind off, of course, on the sleeve. It does flare a little bit, but again, when I think when I finally like get the proper block on this, it will be fine. But I do enjoy the look of an Italian bind off. It looks very clean, seamless, and love that, of course. Oh, I love a good Italian bind off. They're so pretty and just rolls so nicely. Oh, it looks so good. But yes, did that. Otherwise, I don't have much to say about this. I would love it to be a finished object in my next episode. And I only have to do about 2 more repeats on the body before I think I am happy with the length, and then do 2 inches of ribbing, of course. So it'll be about, what would I say? Where's the repeat that I'm on? I would have to knit like that-ish much more on the body before I start the ribbing. So the body isn't super long, but I do want this to be a bit more like a cropped sweater. And yeah, I think it'll be hopefully done by the next episode, but it really depends on how much knitting time I'm getting. So we will see. I should probably talk about what I'm using for this. First off, I'm knitting this on 3.75 millimeter needles, which I think means I had to go up from the pattern. I'm knitting this a size 4 or 5? I'm knitting size 4. That's correct. Did a folded over collar like called for in the pattern, which very stretchy, works fine. I'm very paranoid about folded over collars when it comes to actually having to sew them down. This is only the second time I did it. The first time I did it this way was on my Stick Season by Rebecca Clow, and that one thankfully worked out well, but this one's kind of different because that's a 2x2 rib collar, and this is a 1x1, so I just had to do it very loosely, and it doesn't look super clean inside, but who the hell is going to be judging my collar from what it looks like inside? Not me, and it's my sweater, so I don't care. But yes, this is knit in Fukalana Peruvian, Highland wool in the colorway 221 or Time. So I have 4.5 balls-ish to work with for the body, so I don't think I'm going to go through all of it. I'm probably only going to need like maybe 1 ball in what's left in my bag, my project bag. So I might have like 3 balls left, which would be hilarious, but also, again, frustrating. I don't know what the issue is with me buying too much yarn. I don't know, because I'm knitting this to like basically to pattern. And in fact, I had more stitches on the sleeves than I should have. I don't know. It's fine. Whatever. Though it is also hilarious. I was cleaning my room like last week, and I just happened to glance under my bed to double check to see if I needed to clean under there. And lo and behold, an entire ball of yarn was just shoved under my bed for some reason. I blame my cats, most likely Daisy, because she would definitely be the type to do that. I do really enjoy this yarn so far. It is a tiny bit splitty, but I don't find it to be too rustic. Though I do think generally, like, I'm pretty good with rustic yarn. Like, I have a sweater quantity of Pure Gint to knit myself a middling cardigan, which we'll get to later. And this one is, like, pretty on par with Pure Gint, if not, like, a touch softer than Pure Gint. And I have no issue with this, and I don't really have an issue with Pure Gint either. So, you know, if you like enjoy Peer Gynt, this is probably a little bit softer and still really nice. So yeah, I really enjoy this yarn, and I'm still really loving the sweater. I think it fits on the body great. Again, I just need to block the sleeves out a little bit more, and then it'll be a perfect sweater that I will be obsessed with wearing. So cross my fingers that it all works out, because I really do like the sweater and the colors and everything, and I just, you can't tell me it isn't beautiful, you know? It is beautiful. So the next whip that I want to discuss is my Oilers socks. These I have been knitting since the start of my channel, but I put them away for quite a while, and I picked them back up again like 3 weeks ago after I finished my socks before them, and I expected to get more of this done than I did in the last like 2 weeks, but also the next project that I think I have to talk about, yeah, the next project I'm talking about took so much of my knitting time, and these have just kind of been sitting in my bag. I haven't been knitting on transit. I just find it very clunky. So I've just been reading instead because I find that to be easier. I haven't gotten too much done on these. I just finished the gusset last night, and so I just have the feet to do. I don't know exactly how many inches I have to knit. This is definitely more foot length than I typically have after I do a heel flapping gusset. So I'll have to see. I will have to go and measure how much I need and how much length I need remaining before I have to do my toe. But overall, I do enjoy this so far. I really like the fit of it a lot. I think it fits very great. I did a different heel than usual. This is the Deep Shadow Wrap heel by Isolde Teague, and it is essentially the Shadow Wrap heel, but you get a bit of a gusset that you have to decrease out for a higher instep. Because the Shadow Wrap heel, you start and end with the same amount of stitches, and so this just allows you to have some more extra room in that instep area. And I do really enjoy it. It was very fun and easy to knit, so I definitely see myself using it again. But especially for like a contrast heel, like that just looks really good. So yeah, I do want to have these finished eventually. The Oilers season has officially started. I did kind of want these done for when the season had started, but I can knit them through some games and just have them before I actually have to go to a game, because I do want these done to be able to wear to one, because that just seems really fun. So yes, I also have not decided if I'm doing stripes before the toe yet. I think I talked about that in my last episode, but I don't know if I'm really going to, or if I am lying to myself, and if I do, how many I want to do. Which is something I should really start thinking about before I get too far into the foot, because I don't want to knit further than I would need to for stripes before the toe, because I'll have to rip back, and I don't want to rip back. That doesn't sound like fun to me. So I am using Lang Yarns Jowl. Where's my labels? Yeah, okay, also I saw someone, I always say jowl, but apparently it's like yowl. I don't know, it's European, and like pronouncing words from like different languages and cultures and stuff is really tricky for me. So sorry about that, but it'll be linked to my project page, which color's which. I genuinely cannot remember. But yes, so these will be done eventually. I might honestly keep them upstairs in my room for a little bit, so I have more motivation to work on them. Like I might want to work on them tonight when I get home from work or something. But yeah, so those are just going to be slow ongoing process. But now that I got some yarn in, I really want to get these done, because I want to knit more socks, because I got sock yarn, and I want to knit all the socks in the world. So I might have to knit some of these tonight. We'll see. Now the next project that I have to talk about is my Afric sweater, also by Rebecca Clow. This project has been planned for over 2 months at this point. So I have been slowly collecting the yarn, and the pattern came out on, I believe, the 3rd? Yes, October 3rd. I knit the entire body and the yoke within a week, and then I took like a day off, and then I did the Italian bind off on Sunday, and then I couldn't knit on it Monday or Tuesday. And now it's Wednesday, and I started the sleeve this morning. And oh my god. So it is not fun, which we'll get to in a second. But yes, when I tell you guys that I have had no social life, no life, period, frankly, because I have been doing nothing but knitting on this, I'm not lying, like at all. The only things I've been doing is like going to see my boyfriend, going to work, and then coming home and knitting this. My poor chores. But here it is. Here's my Afric sweater, which is crazy. I don't even know if like all of it's going to show on camera properly, but here it is. I don't even know if you can see all of it. So, oh my God, there is so much knitting that was done on here. It is insane. But it has been the most fun, addictive knit in the world. I am obsessed with it. I think it's gorgeous. I love the colors. It is so fall and autumnal and just so beautiful, and I'm so obsessed with it. I'm going to get into why this took so fast, and then we'll talk about the deets. I literally, when I tell you, like, again, I already said this, but like when I tell you all I did was knit on this, like all day, every day, if I had a moment of free time, it was just knitting on this. And because it was on super thick needles with pretty thick yarn, it worked up so fast. And it is also super potato chippy because you get like a band of stockinette and then a band of colorwork and then a band of stockinette. Throughout the entire sweater, you just like want to knit the stockinette section so you can to the next colorwork section. And then you're like, oh, well, this colorwork section's only like, 6 rows or whatever. It's not 6 rows, it's more than that. But like I can knit like half the colorwork section now. And then you get halfway through the colorwork section and you're like, I could just knit the other half. That went pretty fast. And then you knit the other half. And then you're like, oh, I could just knit the next stockinette section. And then it's just like that the entire time. And you just finish it very fast. So this pattern is so thorough. There is different charts for every single size. It was a bit overwhelming when I opened the pattern page because all of a sudden I got 40 pages of pattern and I was like, what the heck? But I printed out the charts for my specific size. I didn't print out the entire pattern, just the charts. And I used that to knit the yoke and the body. I did weave in my ends for the top 2 sections in the yoke. I didn't for the body yet. Probably should. I think that would make my life a lot easier when I get to the end of this, but I don't necessarily care enough. But yeah, so I'm currently knitting the sleeve, and it is a pain in the butt. I've never done colorwork on Magic Loop before, so that is a learning curve for sure. I already made a mistake. I had knit 2 more rows than this, and then I realized that I had messed up the chart, so I had to rip back. So for yarn, I am using Knitting for All of Heavy Merino in the colorway Cloud Bark. The red is Bordeaux and the black is Coal. And then the mohairs that I'm using is Knitting for Olive Mohair and the colorway Nut Brown, Claret for the red and Licorice for the black, and then Tinsilk Mohair in Almond for the white, which is by Santa's Garden. So yeah, I'm going to hopefully not take forever to get through this, but we will definitely see what happens because I want this to be done now. But also the sleeve is sleeving, and it's making me not want to knit on this anymore. But it is what it is. I will get it done hopefully by the next podcast episode. If not the one after, I don't know how much I'm really going to stall on it. I always say that I'm like, oh, I'm going to take forever to knit this, and then it doesn't actually take forever to knit. Except for my louder sweater. That one's actually taking forever. But we'll see when it gets done. I'm not going to put pressure on myself now because I did knit it so fast, but it is what it is. At the end of the day, I am really loving this sweater. I love the pattern. I love Rebecca. It is just a gorgeous sweater. I love the colors that I picked, and I'm really excited to have it when it is done for the next autumn, for like the rest of this autumn, next autumn, winter, years to come. It'll be a great sweater to have. Now, last work in progress I have to discuss is the thing that I am making with my leftover yarn from my Midland cardigan that flopped. I wasn't able to frog all of it because it was becoming way too much of a pain in the butt. So if anyone wants the rest of the sweater to frog, I'll send it to you for free. I don't care. But I'm knitting this. This is... Oh my god, also I'm using, 5mm needles for the stockinette section of my Afric, 6mm for the colorwork sections, 4mm for the ribbing, and I'm knitting a size 7. Sorry, had to get that out of the way. So this is the Simple Things scarf by Melina Burrell. This is a garter stitch shawl with a I-cord edging, and this is basically just like a Sophie scarf dupe. But I like this more because it's a free pattern. And yeah, I was gonna knit the Sophie hood with this yarn, but I don't think I have enough yarn to make the size that I'd want. And I also saw, I think it was one of the girls from Two Pearls in a Pod talking about how a Sophie shawl, you can pull it up as a hood and it still works just fine. And a shawl would be a lot more versatile because you can wear it as a scarf or you can wear it as a hood, or, you can use it however you want to. But with a hood, you can really only just wear it as a hood. And I think this would just be more versatile. So I'm working on this. I have some stitch markers marking my last few increases. And yeah, this has just been a very simple, easy thing. This is like 2 real nights of knitting on this. And I have that much. I'm using 115 grams on either side. And the yarn that I'm using is Gathering Yarn Luxury One Swatch series, which is a merino yak blend. 75% merino, 30% yak in the colorway Forest. I don't think this yarn is available anymore. I have no idea, but it is very soft, and that's why it didn't work for my Midland cardigan, because you need structure for that to like be functional and not grow 20,000 inches like it did for me. So, oops. I'm knitting these on 3.5 millimeter needles, and I am very quickly making my way through this. Like, I don't have probably a crap ton more to go. Like, I feel like I'm probably halfway through the first section. So I'm gonna zoom through this, and I don't think it'll be done by the next podcast episode, but it probably should get done because I need a scarf bad. It is very cold out there right now. So yes, this will get done when it gets done, but I am excited to have it on the needles and being worked on. I feel like I have to rush right now. My microphone is dying. It shows red, and I'm like, am I being stupid? Is it already dead? So now it is time for my acquisition / future plan sections. Future plan stuff, I'm going to be knitting my Midland cardigan, and I have decided on the Lakes pullover by Ozetta is my next sweater after my second one of these sweaters is done. Whichever one's finished first, I'll probably cast on my Midland cardigan next, and then whenever the other one is done, I'll cast on my Lakes pullover. Don't know what yarn I'm going to use yet. I have some ideas, but you'll see when I buy the yarn, because that probably won't be for a couple weeks yet, so who knows, but I'm very excited for it. I just want it to be navy, and that's all I know. So I'm really excited to knit that because it's a super popular pattern, and I feel like so many people have knit it that it's just a very tried and trusted pattern. So I feel like it'd be very easy, very reliable, and it's a very like simple, plain sweater, but it feels like it'd be very wearable and comfy. So I do want to go ahead and knit that. I did have plans to start some mittens in the last 2 weeks. That was supposed to happen on Monday, but again, for the 15th time this episode, I had some arm pain, so I could not start those. Hopefully those will be started in the next 2 weeks. We will see what happens, because I also do really need those soon. Hopefully, please. Because it is cold. Oh my god. Going to work, my hands are literally numb. It is so bad. But yes. So now for my acquisitions section, I made a order with Frankie Gray Fibers, which is run by one of the Grocery Girls, if you know who they are. I've loved their channel for years, so I finally decided to go ahead and try out some yarn from them. The first yarn that I got is this one. This is in the colorway Army, and it's their fingering weight merino, which is 80% merino superwash and 20% nylon. And it is more of a sport weight. It is 365 meters per 100 grams, and this is in the colorway Army. I think I said that already. And it's just really, really pretty kind of tonal green, which is not the same color as my scarf will be, but there is tones that are very similar in here, where there's like more of like a bluey green and stuff. So this is a really pretty color, and I'm very excited to make a hat out of this. It's going to be a Musselburgh, whichever one. That's what it's going to turn out as. Hopefully I have enough. If I don't, then I will just use some scrap yarn and put that side on the inside, because that's the great thing about a Musselburgh is it's very easy to hide if you don't have enough yarn. So this will be, whatever side will be showing is going to be with this yarn. Then I went ahead and got this. This is their July mystery colorway. They had some extra, so I picked up some, and it is their fingering weight base and then 2 20-gram minis, and it is just called July, and it's inspired by their berry, like inspired by like a berries vibe. So it's this really pretty like red, blue, purple colorway with a red and blue mini. These are going to be such fun, pretty socks, and I'm kind of obsessed with it. Like, I love this. It's not going to be my next sock cast on, but they will be cast on eventually because love it. I also really want minis to be able to knit colorwork socks with. So I don't think the red will actually be used. I think I'm going to save that for colorwork socks because I think a nice berry red would be very useful to have for colorwork socks. The blue will become probably the contrast, I think. I think that just looks really pretty. I like it more than I like the red as a contrast. So I think the red's very poppy, but the blue is a bit more my taste. So that's what we're going to go ahead and do with that one. And then the next one is a mystery colorway for September. So if you don't want to see it, you don't have to, but I'm going to share it because it's mid-October. So great. But this is it. I pulled this out of the bag. I didn't know what I was getting. So it's my first like mystery yarn, and I'm so obsessed with this. And I wanted to knit it up immediately. Oh my god, it is gorgeous. Do you see this? Oh, I love it. This is a 100-gram skein and a 50-gram half skein situation. So yes, it's so pretty. There's like some dark burgundy, brown, red, orange, some green, some beiges in this one. And this is just a nice true like neutral tone brown. It's not warm, it's not cool tone. It's pretty like a true neutral. So this is going to be a very pretty pair of socks, and I'm so excited to knit these because, oh, hello, so autumn. Like, I feel like I look so autumn right now. Do I look like I just came out of like a fall movie? Please say yes. Please say yes, because I wish I did. It's so pretty. Oh, love this. But yes, that's my yarn purchase. Sorry for the rushed ending. I'm scared that my microphone just cut out for the entire second half. I need to charge it as soon as I'm done so I can film my next episode without being screwed over by a microphone. Yay. So that's everything that I have to share with you guys today. All my Ravelry pattern pages and project pages will be down below. And Instagram Ravelry will also be linked down below. If you guys have any questions or want to know anything, let me know what you guys were knitting or making while you were watching this video. Please let me know in the comments. Like, subscribe, do all the things if you feel so inclined. And I will see you guys in 2 weeks. Bye, guys.